So you'll see with this script here, it comes in the form that is what they call split script or dual script format. And you'll see the video is on the left and the audio is on the right. And typically what happens when you cut a package together, the reporter will write ahead of time these narrations that you see here. And so there's just two narrations here. And they kind of envelop the sound bites. Okay, so here's sound bites, so sound on tape. And so what happens is you want to A-roll your package first. So, so this is your audio first, and then you go back and you B-roll accordingly. All right, so this should be nothing new. I've included some special instructions that I'm going to go through in a minute, but you have to be aware that you're still using the ideas of sequencing, and you want to make sure that you're taking the best shot of each clip. And you're also going to include nat sound breaks. And so I'll show you how to do a nat sound break in the first shot, but then you'll be able to do that in the second shot. So depending upon how long this video is, I'll find a nat sound break here. Okay, so just the names of the clips. So these are the specific clips that I want you to use. And so if I specify a specific video clip, you want to make sure that you put that one in there. And so as you can see, there's only one specified video clip in terms of B-roll there, but the rest are where you're going to find these sound bites. Okay? So you want to close out any of your libraries and open or create a new library. And I'm going to write SeaWorld package. Okay? You can call it whatever you want. I prefer you call it by your last name. That way you're keeping track of your own specific video. So I'm going to import my media. So it is should be in the COM208 folder. So it's the SeaWorld folder. So you can import the whole folder. So don't worry about narration 1 because we're not even using those narrations. You are going to record your own narration. Okay. I actually hate the icon mode. I actually prefer to use list mode. It just is a preference for me. You can decide which works for you. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get rid of our transitions pane. Okay, open up a new project, SeaWorld. Whatever you name this project is going to be the title that you would export the file in. So the first thing we want to do is we want to find this whale CU feeding. So let's look for that. So these are in alphabetical order, somewhat. So whale CU feeding. Okay, so let's play this. And so bring up this shot for 1 second, then leave the shot up through the first half of the shot below. So let's play this clip. So hear that? So that is where we want to take it just below he says that. So after the shot moves, so see how the shot stabilizes? Okay, I want to set an end point there. You can actually see the audio as well, but I don't want the shot to be moving because you got to make sure that you want to edit out camera mistakes. So it's going to be out, and eventually I'm going to take my shot, the out point of my shot, right about there. So I'm going to set my out point hitting O. So then after I set my in and my out point, I'm going to drag it onto the timeline replace. I had edited it before and I messed up. So anyway, you see that we want to have this full, and we want to drag it up to about -6 dB. So let's bring that up really, really loud. Maybe 2. Let's play it. So about +59 dB. Okay. So it's going to be up for about a second. So as you can see, it's a second at 111. And then this is where you work with keyframes. So let's insert one keyframe. So what that does is it tells Final Cut Pro that I want this level to be at this particular level at this point in time in my timeline. And then you just move the playhead over just a scotch, and you set another playhead, another keyframe. And then you bring the audio down. You can do it from here, or you can do it from here. I actually prefer to do it from here. So that way it should just be at nat level. It should automatically be about nat level afterwards, so you can watch your audio lanes over here. Oops, let me play it. So I set that audio level to be -2.0. I mean, it's minus the level that it originally was, okay? So that way you have this first clip on there. So this is your first nat sound break, okay? And now what we want to do is we want to edit our Dave Ferris. So Dave Ferris, DF Ambassadors, okay? So let's play his clip.
The way they can move about the water, their finesse.
So his in-cue is "We Are in Essence."
It's indescribable. And I think that's one thing people never get tired of seeing. We as trainers, we never tire of it. We see it every day, but
so if you listen,
every day. So we aren't special people. We have special jobs, and we recognize that, and we understand that we are in essence.
So we understand. So even though this clip is 32 seconds long, we want to start it much later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my playhead within this clip, and I'm going to play it. As soon as I hear his in-cue, "We Are in Essence."
We understand that we are in essence.
So I need to bring it back. So it should be about 58:13. I'm going to set my end point there, and then play my clip.
We are, in essence, ambassadors for humankind interacting with this species of animal.
Species of animal is this out cue, so you hit your O for your out point. So that's about 50:13:24. And then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to play around with this B-roll, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this is going to be right after my nat sound break, okay? So what I'm going to choose to do is put my playhead there and drag it there, okay? Should drop, okay? So now what you're seeing is some layers, okay? So we're playing it first.
We are, in essence, ambassadors for humankind.
So see how we're hearing him first, and I'm actually going to bring up his audio just a skosh.
We are, in essence, ambassadors.
I'll bring it up.
Interacting with this species of animal.
So I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher.
In essence, ambassadors for humankind.
So I brought it up 0.64 dB. Okay? And so the script says, leave up the shot through half of the SOT below. So this is about half of the SOT. But let's listen and let's see if we can cut according to the words that he says.
We are, in essence, ambassadors.
So after he says ambassadors, maybe I want to trim back my my video, okay? And notice that my audio and my video are not linked, okay? So I'm still hearing that, and I'm still but I'm not seeing this whale feeding. So it looks like these are not linked. Actually, they are linked. But if they are not linked, if they are linked, then you can detach your audio. If they are linked, then you don't have to worry about it. But you can see, like, for some reason, so it looks like they're linked there. Okay, so now we have the first couple seconds of our video.
We are, in essence, ambassadors for humankind interacting with this species of animal.
Okay, so species of animal. So then we want to add a nat sound break. Okay, so we want to add another nat sound break. So let's find a clip. I'm going to stop it. So I selected this JPEX slaps. So you can use a part of the clip. Oops. I messed up my endpoints. But see how she's just kind of like she's slapping them. So you only put a nat sound break up just for a second. Then you leave the shut up just for a second, a couple more seconds. But I'm going to kind of take part of this. I don't know how much of the clip am I ultimately going to use. Okay, and I'm going to use this overwrite. I'm old school with my editing because I know sometimes with Final Cut it adds stuff all over the place. So I'm going to overwrite this onto the timeline. Okay, and now I have my nat sound break. And I'm going to jack it up again. So let's jack it up as high as we can get. That's probably as loud as we can get. And that's fine. Just it's going to be a second. That's probably too loud. So again, you want to have your audio levels. So just for a second. So just about for a second. And then you add your keyframe. And you slide your playhead over just a little bit. Add another keyframe. And then you bring your audio down. Okay, I'm going to bring it. Let's listen to that. Okay, that's probably gone too far. So maybe -4 dB. That's probably a little. Okay, and then we add our voiceover. So I recorded my voiceover. So in order to do that, you go to Window, Record Voiceover. And what I typically will do is I will put my playhead where I want it to be, and then it counts down and it comes with your voiceover. But as you can see, there's like a little second of lag. So I'm going to cut it. So trim it back. So I'm basically saying. So now that I have my trimmed voiceover, I move it back to where I need it to be, and I play it.
At the core of SeaWorld's training philosophy is positive reinforcement.
So you see how that works. So then I have my voiceover laid. So I'm going to B-roll that later. And so now I'm going to shrink my timeline just a little bit because I need to move on. Okay, so that's where my next clip is going to be. So my next clip is going to be this soundbite. So my soundbite is DS Show Team. So you play it.
Let me add.
We brought this all together as the in-cue.
And we did this by complementing the wonderful talents of our internal entertainment team.
So as you can see, this is a 38-second soundbite,
people from all around the country.
And we want to make it short.
To help us establish what the overall content of the show would be. We brought in a set designer and a composer from Los Angeles.
So he talks really, really long.
We also brought in Hallmark Corporation to help us with what the emotional content of the show would ultimately be. We brought all of.
So this is obviously like a PR guy. So he's talking a lot. So right before he says this last "we are," so it's 8:52:09. I'm going to set my endpoint there. And he says, "We are."
We brought all of this together, we mixed it all together, and we ultimately created a one-of-a-kind, unique experience that you can only find at SeaWorld.
So I'm going to set my out point there. So now that's a much shorter, more concise soundbite, which fits into my story. So I'm going to hit overwrite again. So after you lay your DS Show Team, you're going to add another Nat Sound break, and then you will record your next narration. The show is titled Believe. And then you will add your last two sound bites, which is Michael Bernstein. The idea of believe comes from the animal itself. That's in these as well. And then SA Team ideas, you're going to add that one as well. And after that, you want to make sure that you're B-rolling. So you B-roll any black. See how you have this black frame here? And you'll have some black frames as well for your second voiceover. So you'll just take the video that you need to kind of exemplify or just explicate, or whatever the word you want to use. And basically it just helps describe and it adds to the narrations, the two narrations that you recorded. And then after you've done all that and you're finished up, then you can add your CGs. And so obviously if you had a hard time adding your CGs, then you will it's over in these graphics right here, and you can pick your lower third. So if you want to, I don't know, what's this organic one? Ugh, God, that's annoying. You can have overlap, information bar. It doesn't matter. We can just drag that on there. And so you can add that CG on there. And you have to allow it to render. But then you're going to put his name in there. Put his name in there. Put his name in there. And so his name is David Ferris. Come on, there we go. David, F-A-R-R-I-S-S, and he is the CEO, SeaWorld. Okay, so then you add your CGs in there. I'm going to get rid of that one. And so now you have, and of course it just overlaid. Oops, that wasn't a good idea. Anyway, I don't know what happened there, but anyway, so you want to make sure that his, I think I overwrote some of my video. Anyway, so you just want to make sure that your CGs are added. And of course, I don't want it to be overlaid my next video. So anyway, so you add your CGs in there, and then make sure you export the package and share it to Canvas when you're done.